there haven't been enough videos lately. I apologize. Let's talk about gamification. I realized recently that the idea of gamification is a huge part of the way I'm organizing everything. One, applying design systems to my own work is this form of gamification. There are rules, not the hardest, fastest rules, but there are rules, there's parameters, and there's steps. And then I do things that are fun to get to an endpoint. But then by applying that to the business and having methods, the methods are applied based on parameters and context. One of the things that's cool to me is the idea that potentially 8 projects could all be done one way, or they could be done in a bunch of different things. Like 3 could be producer method, 1 could be conceptor method, 5 could be the typographer method. Whatever. That to me is super interesting. Like the idea that projects come down and I won't necessarily know what I'm gonna do. Whereas before, project came down, I always sort of knew what I was gonna do. And the question was like, was I really gonna have enough time, or was it gonna be this stressful nightmare? The other thing that I would throw out there is, now I'm looking at the idea of like productizing offerings. So taking a service like designing a digital only record cover and having various kind of investment levels of how much time are you paying for and what parts of the process are you paying for. So at the very lowest end, there's a type only thing. I have allotted for those projects basically half a day. To me, it's very fun to just work with type only, but there's the challenge of, can I make something happen? Can I make something compelling and visual happen in that time frame? That to me is the gamification. And I realize like that's one of my main concerns. It's not something I ever really thought of, but as I've figured out this process stuff and made design more fun for me, I realize how important it is for me to know the steps I'm gonna take, but not know where I'll end up. And that's like kind of the whole fun, is like, I love getting to the end and being like, shit, I didn't know I was gonna use Hobo today. That's cool. Or being like, I didn't know I was gonna make a pattern out of this thing. Like, because that's not really how I worked before. So within all of them, the whole idea is like steps, parameters, context. And in doing so, the whole thing becomes interesting to me in a way that it's not like, normally it's like, yeah, you do graphic design, is the project interesting? This actually does this weird thing where like, I want the project to be interesting because like I want to do cool stuff on behalf of cool stuff. But what this does is it goes like, fuck the project. The steps are interesting regardless. And then if I'm doing them towards stuff I'm interested in, the whole thing should be great anyway. But I really like the idea of being like it. I don't care what you hand to me. I've got these processes set up. They make working super fun, but surprising. So it's not like a exercise in style, or I don't think it is. So those are some things that motivate me. And it took me a long time to figure this out, but for like, because I never realized it was happening, but now I look back and I can think about certain exercises that I had to do in school that I found really fun. And one of the things I realized is like, they had a brutal time constraint, for example. I loved projects that had to be done in a day. I hated anything that went longer because I didn't know how to set it up so that I'd constantly have that brutal time constraint, which again, like gamification, right? You're gonna start here, you've got till, it's 1 o'clock, you've got till 5, and you have to make it by hand. All right, shit, let's go. So, probably a recurring theme through all of these videos is this idea of like getting in touch with what drives you creatively so that you can then mold the things that are happening around you.